Hello guys, so it's a very exciting day today. I've actually been very productive and we have a very exciting package. So this literally just got delivered to my house, so I'm really very excited. However, it came to my door and I was like, what the hell is that? Like, why has it got my name on it and why is it ginormous? So let me just show you this box because I'd forgotten that this was coming because it was literally like 2 days ago, so I didn't think it was going to come this quickly. But cover my address. But look at this. It's bigger than me. So, little background. I have been very kindly gifted this machine and I am going to be showing you a little bit more about it. So all the info will be down below, but basically this is a stand mixer that I've been gifted. It's a more affordable option for people and it's available on Amazon. So if you don't have the money to go for something like a KitchenAid or a Kenwood, then this might be an option for you. So this is going to be a little bit of a series. So today we're just going to be unboxing because we know from my KitchenAid unboxing that can take a little while to go through what is actually in the box. So we're going to be going through the box, what it is all about, everything to do with the machine, and then in a separate video I will be reviewing it because I think it's always good to do it separate, and then you can see how it works, whether it's any good, things like how much you can fit in the bowl, anything like that. So we'll be doing that in more detail. I will also be doing an updated video on my KitchenAid a year later to see what I still think of it, and also because when I actually did that review on the KitchenAid I was just starting out, so I didn't want to be making like massive batches of cake for a review video that I wasn't going to use, whereas obviously now because I do cakes every weekend it means that I can use that for the review when I make those cakes, and then I can make a full batch of buttercream and also cake so that you can see really how it works using a full bowl rather than just a small amount. So yeah, because that review was very basic, however it is very highly viewed. There's like 30,000 views on it, something crazy, so that's why I wanted to do an updated one in a little bit more detail. So yeah, we're going to get to the unboxing and we're going to go through everything to do with the machine, so I'm very excited. So I've got my scissors. Don't try this at home, but this is how I'm going to do it. Right, so this box open. It is gigantic, this box. However, if I remember rightly, I mean it might fit perfectly, but whenever I order stuff from Amazon the boxes are always way bigger than the items, so I don't know if it is actually this big. So sorry if anyone was wearing headphones during that process. So the box is a little bit smaller, so you will be happy to know that it isn't that gigantic. So let's move that into the mess behind me, ignore it. So let me show you the box. I'm so excited. I'm just excited to have two mixers. I told my mum and she was like, oh my god, you can use one for cake mix, one for buttercream, because I always see people doing that and I've always wanted two machines. So yeah, I think we've made it, girls. So right, it's very heavy. Ooh. Right, here we go. So I'm going to stand up so that you can see, but it's called Elegant Life, as you can see there, and then it's more of a kitchen based machine, which means that it has everything on it. It's very similar to the KitchenAid design in terms of the blender attachment, and I believe that's like a mince maker attachment. I don't eat meat, so that's why I don't necessarily know what it is. And then we've also got the big mixing bowl at the base, which looks really nice and big. I'm very excited about that because that is one thing that I like, a very big mixing bowl. Some mixers do have very small bowls. The reason I didn't go for the more basic KitchenAid is because it had a very small bowl, like a 2 litre or something. I think you can get like a light version, but yeah, the bowl is really small. So right, let's get this open. I'm so out of breath because I'm just so excited. So right, we have the manual, which I never read, I always just wing it, but we'll get to that in the review video. So I'm actually quite excited because I really like smoothies and I have a blender. However, it's just faff to get it in and out of the cupboard, whereas obviously this is going to stay on the worktop, so I can just use it and it's right there. It's so much easier because my blender is like in storage. So and it also comes with a cover, which I had to buy a cover for my KitchenAid and I don't actually use it because this is the same, it's a pouring cover, however it looks like it goes edge to edge on the bowl, whereas the KitchenAid one doesn't, so all the icing sugar just comes straight out, even though it's not meant for icing sugar, but that's what I use it for. So, this is a little box of attachments. I will get into that in a minute because we want to get the main machine out, you know, the actual meat of the episode. So, we've got blender there. I think that's... Let me just check. One sec. That's glass. That's nice. I like that. I do like a good blender because I really like my smoothies. I've been buying them at the moment because I'm being really lazy and can't actually be bothered to make them. But that is a really nice blender. I'm one of those weird people that just likes homeware. I love anything to do with having a home. That's why I want to move out, because then I can just buy loads of homeware. So, right, anyway, enough about me. So, it's very similar to the KitchenAid in terms of design, which, considering it's much more affordable, right, let me show you the actual main items and then we'll get on to the extras. So, just push that back down. So, this is what it looks like. As you can see, it's a more plastic base, like so. This is the speed dial, which is very similar to the Kenwood. You can obviously turn that around and the speed will go up and down. So, it just shows you what speeds to do different things on, bread, cake, and what is that? Eggs and cupcakes, I believe. You can't actually see because my camera is in the reflection. There you go, these little images here. So that is that side, and then you have this button here, which if you push down, then you can pop the top up and get your attachment off, get your bowl out, etc. So there we go. So that is everything on there. There is a little lock, the same as KitchenAid, where my little finger is here. It just shows you how to lock the bowl in, so it's the direction that you need to clip it in. If I'm completely honest, it is very, very similar to KitchenAid and Kenwood. It's kind of like a mix between the two. As you can see down here, it's a locking, like I just said, for the bowl. So there's no like clip that you have to do. I think some of the older fashion ones have a clip, but most of them it's just a turn bowl. And also the fact that it has the button on the side to lift up is very similar to KitchenAid because they have it on the side up here. So at the top here there is some little, I don't want to break it. How do I should probably read the manual. Oh, there we go. Right, so that is how you attach the blender on the back. And then, oh, here we go. That is how you attach the mincer. So it's got these little covers, like so. It's a bit like a TV remote. You just slide it off. It comes off really easily. So I'll just clip those back in. There we go. And again, at the front here. That on. There we go. Perfect. So that is the main part of the machine. It's just in silver. It's a pretty standard colour for the slightly more affordable options. Most of them just come in like silver or like black because it's plastic. So it just depends. So we've got, in this bag, we've got the attachments. They look very big, which is good. So we've got the bread hook here for kneading. I actually don't use this at all. I never make any bread. So my KitchenAid one is just in a cupboard, but it may come in handy. So this is hard to tell I believe it's a form of plasticky metal. So this is your beater. My KitchenAid beater, which looks like this, is white coated, and it feels a bit heavier than this, so I'm not sure what it's made out of, but it may be just as good. I use the one that is slightly different. It's got the silicone edge, just because it scrapes around the bowl for you, just because I'm lazy, and it's a lot easier. It scrapes it for you rather than you having to stop and start and scrape. However, we will see what it's like. So that is the beater, so I'll be using that a lot for buttercream, and also I use beaters for whenever I'm making cake mixes. I don't typically use a whisk. I only use it if I'm doing egg whites, which is very, very rare. Literally since I tried making macaroons, which I no longer make, I just buy them. But I haven't used a whisk since then, but it may come in handy. So this is that. It's very big, which is nice. It's nice wide. I've seen some that are a lot narrower, so that should again come in handy. So, as I showed you, we have the blender. So the lid just comes off like that. There we go. And it's glass, and then it's got the little turning motion to put it in to the mixer. So let me just put that back on. So that's your lid. Then I believe, there you go. So you turn that, and then that comes out, and then you can use the tool. If you're familiar with blending like smoothies and things, then you typically need to, what was that going in? Oh gosh. Ah, okay. Interesting. So, this is what you use in this. You can use it to, what do you call it? Push down all of your mixture if you need to. But I also think it may be dual purpose. No, I think that's for this actually. Yeah, it is for this. So, that's for the smoothie holder. There we go, we've established that. These are for your minces. I believe you can also make pasta. I have seen that on the KitchenAid one, but I don't know how to make pasta, so we won't be doing that yet. We may do it in the future. So here are some of the attachments for the pasta section. So this is metal, so this looks quite good. So you just unscrew that, and then you can get to your chosen kind of cutter. So that goes on the front of your machine. Then that acts as a tray, so then you can pour whatever you want in there, and then it will come through and make your desired whatever it is, whether it's mince, pasta, anything. I think you can make sausages on them as well, but again, I don't eat meat, so we won't be doing that. But I'm definitely intrigued to try it, because I really want to try it for pasta, like spaghetti, because I always see people using it for that. So that is that. Very interesting, because I don't have those attachments for my KitchenAid, just because it was another expense. Obviously the KitchenAid is very expensive as it is, so I didn't necessarily want to be spending even more on it. So this is the cover. So as you can see, it butts up against where your whisk, say, goes in, like so. So it's a lot closer than the KitchenAid one, and also around the edges it butts up against the bowl. As you can see, so it covers the whole bowl, whereas my KitchenAid one has a gap around the edge. Oh gosh. So around this edge is where my KitchenAid one has a gap. So it will be interesting to see whether this is better, because I definitely still get icing clouds with mine. I don't use it for pouring, because I pour the eggs straight in. I don't pour them in later, so I don't need necessarily the pouring guide. But it's more for icing sugar that I use it for when I'm making buttercream. So I think the last thing is the bowl. But apart from that, we've done all the little bits. So it is 3.5 litres, which I believe is the same as my KitchenAid, and then you can get a 5 litre KitchenAid. You can also get a much bigger one, but I think the standard is 3.5, and then there is a 2.5, I believe, which is quite small. Doesn't really fit much cake batter in or buttercream, but this is like the standard KitchenAid, and I think Kenwood size. So I quite like this. I like that it's got dual handles, because a lot of the time the KitchenAid one, because it's on the side like that, it means that when you're pouring it's a bit awkward, whereas this you can hold it like so and get all your stuff out. So it'll be interesting to see whether I prefer this, but I definitely like the idea of having 2 mixers. Not to sound like greedy, but it is helpful, especially when you're doing a lot of cakes at once, because if you're doing one flavour and you're making all the batter for that, if you can't fit all the batter in the bowl at once, you can obviously make it, put it in the tins and then make the next batch, because it's all the same ingredients, you're not contaminating anything, and as long as you're doing it straight away. But if you're doing buttercream in that and then you're making cake mix, obviously you need to be washing the bowl every single time you're changing what you're using, because you obviously can't put cake mix in with icing sugar, whereas if you're doing the same flavour, obviously if it is back to back, I mean, not like if you're waiting an hour, but if you're literally making cake mix, scraping it out, making another one, and it's the same flavour, then you can use the same bowl, whereas obviously if you're making icing then you have to wash it every single time. So it is nice to have 2 mixers, because then you can have both on the go at the same time, back to back, just getting cake mixes and like buttercream all made in advance, because again, I like to make my buttercream whilst my cakes are in the oven, but you would have to wash all of that, whereas I can make the buttercream whilst I'm mixing the cakes, so you can like do 2 things at once. I like to multitask, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So it will be nice to have like 2 things going at once, so we will see. But I'm very, very excited. So as I said, I'll put all the information down below, but definitely make sure to like, subscribe and hit the bell, because then you will hear about the review video. It will be up the next week after this video is coming out. I've got a few videos in the pipeline that I wanted to get up before this one, so even though it is filmed probably the same time as ones that have gone up before, it will be going up after. So like I say, it will be about a week, and then the review video will be up as well, so that you get to see how it actually works before you necessarily buy it. But it's definitely worth looking at, because I know there are loads of people that message me saying that they can't necessarily afford a KitchenAid. Is there anything else I'd recommend? And I haven't tried anything else. I've just heard that KitchenAid and Kenwood, like obviously I own a KitchenAid, but I've heard that Kenwood is also good. But this might be a more affordable option, because Kenwood can still be £400, so this is something that is around £100. I will get the exact figure for you, and then it will obviously be linked below, but I believe it's around the £100 mark, so we will see whether it's any good next week. But it definitely comes with a lot of attachments, so I'm really surprised. So hopefully it's good, and then you might be able to have it as a more affordable option for you. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm very, very excited to try this out. And as I said before, this was gifted. I'm very, very grateful. I did not buy this myself because I already have a mixer, but I'm definitely grateful that I have the option to have 2. But yeah, I'm hoping that this will be useful for you as another option as a stand mixer for your home bakery. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!